welcome to episode 5 of the Temple Bard podcast with me, Jim Wynn, and Philip Noon. Let's go. Well, Philip, what's an artist?
Everybody now is an artist in some way, shape or form. We're artists, I suppose.
Yeah.
The portal's gone.
Portal's gone. I bet sure. I think that was one of those situations where every negative thing that happened blew up. So suddenly we can't have nice things. All week there's been a lot of everyone's been commenting on the portal and it's taken down, yeah,
yeah,
for
it's
good,
gone.
Permanently.
It's gone. I saw people left flowers at it. Like,
that's terrible. It was a stupid place to put it, to be fair.
It was.
But sad. R.I.P. Portal. We never knew ye. We didn't even get to see it.
No.
Did you?
No.
Not fair.
It's really funny in how it's branched out because there's a friend of mine. He's been working behind a bar for years. He's unbelievable with cocktails, incredible, best cocktails I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
and he's a mixologist.
Yeah, which
is now a branch of artistry as well. Like,
yeah.
So you were saying when we were younger.
Yeah, what I was thinking was when I was growing up, I would have thought that an art was just literally paintings and sculptures, stuff like that. That I wouldn't even have classed music or comedy or acting or anything like that.
Now we have sandwich artists.
Now it's everything's an art, and I think it's truly, to me, like an art is somebody's unique creation of something. So, isn't everybody's creation of everything unique to them?
Yeah.
So everyone's an artist. Like how you do the books, if you're an accountant, is the way you do it, which is an art. The art of the way you do it, and the same with everything. The way you make a sandwich is art. The way you do anything is art.
So I find in a lot of what we do, right? I know that in our job, it might appear artistic from time to time, but a lot of it is just muscle memory.
Yeah.
In what we do, like, because we have, with ourselves, but every now and again we can veer off that, and you'll find yourself present in the moment.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself do something a bit different, and in a way that's art.
Yeah.
Now, for years I was with a wedding band, and I'll kind of touch on that later on.
Yeah.
But I found there wasn't as much room to express myself artistically in that,
right,
as there is now in doing what I'm doing, I suppose.
Because now I think, but even the way you sing a cover, like, is not going to be exactly how it was, because you can't sing it the same as the original artist. So it's your unique creation of the cover. So even though you do it every night the same way, or it's still your unique representation. Like, it's the same as like the Mona Lisa. It's art. The original is art, but also like the prints that you can buy is also art. Like, it's just, although that is a representation of the exact thing, but it's the art of making money off art.
That's
This is an art that I have not mastered.
I was in Florence 2022, and I saw
the
most
machine there.
She wasn't there, but Michelangelo statues were there. All the ones with the wee willies.
Oh yeah. That was a status symbol back in the day in Rome.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Status symbol. The most intelligent and high people had little dicks.
Right, because that's what I was saying. Like, what's the story with all the wee willies? Like,
yeah.
Are we going to come across like a statue here with a big weapon of you?
Yeah. They were gladiators, Philip. Choose your weapon.
Choose your weapon.
Cock.
Marcus Aurelius. Oh, we you have to cut that. Funny enough, somebody was telling me about a book, The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius.
Yes, I've heard about it.
And apparently, so it was him. Marcus Aurelius was a massive emperor. And he kept a diary. And all his meanderings and all his worries and all his problems and all his insecurities, apparently today, are still so relevant.
Yeah.
His view on everything today is as relevant as it was then.
I've heard. I haven't read the book, but I have heard a lot of people talking about it. It's a Stoicism Bible, Stoic Bible, and people would say that he didn't have this maniacal leader thing that most leaders have, where nobody questions themselves at all, and he would question everything, and he was a big examiner of the nature of reality and stuff like this. So very interesting.
Nice.
How
I must read it.
I must read it. I'm put it on my Audible to read.
Yeah, it'll be easier. Audible's a great job because you can do it driving.
Yeah, that's I do it I listen to audiobooks in the gym and when I'm driving, or if I'm walking somewhere. I find, or I come back from gigs or going to gigs, I can find it, like, that's how I get them finished.
How can you listen to an audiobook in the gym?
Yeah.
That's heavy.
Yeah, I listen to audiobooks in the gym all the time.
I need something screaming at me.
You need Florence or the Machine.
So we used to be in a wedding band.
Yeah.
The wedding band was called Lightning Strikes. Singing in a wedding band, you just see some of the maddest stuff ever. Like,
spill the tea, Philip. Spill the tea.
so but you could do a whole podcast on wedding band stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there was one night we were doing a wedding in Killarney. I'm not going to name the hotel because I love the hotel and I still go to it.
Yeah.
And we were in the middle of this song, and it was near the end of the night. And one of the best men was really, really drunk all day. Even when we got there to like unpack the stuff and all, that's like before the speeches. So you're like talking 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's after the meal, just before the speeches, and the best man came out to us like talking shite already, and I was like, it was like. So as the night went on, you could see this fellow was just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I'm watching him the whole night because he's a liability. He's just ready to go. He's just ready to go. So I'm watching him. Everybody else is dancing and gets to tie around the head time of the night when everybody has
dad dancing.
How you dad dancing.
Granny and granddad are up.
Everybody had the trousers tucked up to their knees, and we were doing AC/DC. You shook me all night long. Everybody's head banging. Great. Yeah. But I'm still watching you, man. See, man's at the back of the room, right? And I'm watching him, and he just comes in. And it must have been his missus, but it was so harmless. She was like talking to some lad at the bar, and he was laughing, and he just touched her back like that, laughing, and said something to her. Well, your boy just took off running like that. and I mean swung from the rafters and buckled him, buckled him, right? And I was like, because I'm the only one that saw it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is still dancing.
Yeah, everyone's looking at you, and you're the only one looking out.
Everybody else is facing this way, and everybody else is going mad. I'm playing the guitar and all, and I'm looking down, and I just know. So the barmen are the first to see it, obviously. So like they're jumping out.
Yeah.
So I have the bride and groom right in front of me, and I don't want to fuck up their day.
Yeah.
So I kind of like bring the bride and groom in like really close.
Yeah.
And like I'm telling them like come in. And I'm like looking around the stage, and normally we have like inflatable instruments, like an inflatable saxophone and an inflatable, and I was like, I didn't know what the fuck to do, so I turned around to the drummer and I went, "Give me your drumsticks," and he was like, "What?" I was like, "Give me your fucking drumsticks." He was like, just handed me his drumsticks and just kept the beat going with his foot, and I start doing this to everybody, so that everybody start clapping. Down the back of the room, there's people pulling people apart, and they're all like thumping the head of each other. And I'm giving the bride and groom the drumsticks, and they're banging the drumsticks of each other. And I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me, and he's going, I need them back. And I'm like, will you wait a minute? Look at the back of the room.
Look at a professional doesn't have 2 sets of drumsticks with him. That's class.
Oh, it was mental.
So the bride and groom never knew, or they didn't know.
No. I'm sure they found out later in the night, but we kind of winged it. And then, so the lead singer, he was a phenomenal showman.
Yeah.
And Shaky was a phenomenal showman. And he went down into them, and I think he got everybody round the bride and groom.
Right.
And just got everybody into the last one. I think it was Sweet Caroline or something as the last one. But like that again, right? So you'd have to do a wedding showcase. So if you were booking a wedding band for your, actually, you know what? I'd love to get wedding band boys on just so you could hear the crack over the years.
I've heard of the showcases,
but no, like but I mean at the weddings. Like so, like I've heard stories of. I'm not going to say bride and grooms because that'll get people in trouble, but I've heard stories of people from wedding parties disappearing upstairs in the middle of the day with other members of wedding parties and madness. Like every singer knows about getting a microphone in the mouth. Like every singer, everybody has got a microphone in the mouth at some stage.
Chip toot.
So this is where my chip toot came from.
Yeah.
We were doing a gig in Tullamore, and it was we'd have to do one showcase gig a month, and we had so much gear. Like we had a Dynacord P7, or it was a massive like with 3 big speakers. This pub that we did this thing in, we hadn't done anything in it before. We had done it in a different pub in Tullamore, but they had something on, so we did it in this other pub. We went into the pub, and it was the smallest, most narrow pub I've ever seen in my life. We were a 5-piece that night, and it took up the whole back of the pub. the drummer, I think, was sitting on a sofa that was like at the back of the pub against the wall, like that. He was sitting on on a drummer. We had a keyboard player. Yeah, there was two of us there, and then there was two speakers here, right? And I mean, the speakers are like that height each, right? So they're massive. You had to walk between. I'm here at the front singing, got my guitar here, and you had to walk between me and the two speakers to go into the jacks. So the only way to the toilet was through the stage. You had to walk across. There was no stage, but through the band. That was the only way you could get to the toilet.
Yeah.
So as the night went on, everything was going well, and we got to Mr. Brightside. And everybody's going mad. Like, the place is, like, stuffed like this. Like, and everybody's jumping, everybody's going mad, and I'm there. And somebody goes to go to the toilet. As he goes to go to the toilet, like, I'm singing, she takes, and I'm just singing, and somebody tries to run past your man to go to the toilet. Your man hits him a shoulder. He falls into my mic stand. It goes straight into my mouth and just chips me tooth.
I can feel it. I can feel it now.
Blood pissing down my chin.
I can feel it now. It's happened to me last week.
No way.
Yeah, not as bad as that now. But I was in.
Don't name the venue.
I won't say the venues either. Actually, it happened on the Friday. Someone was walking past and just caught the end of the mic stand sticking out, and the mic just kind of went up and then back and hit me in the side of the lip. And I was like, but I kept going. It was grand. But then the next day, there was the Saturday, because it was gorgeous out all day. So people had been drinking all day. There was one girl dancing in front of me, like from the second I started, and she was walking over beside me, water, and where the desk is, my desk, and I was like, the whole time I was just watching her. I was like, she's gonna knock into that water. She ended up doing mad shit, like breaking glasses, and in the end, she did tried to do a twirl, like a ballet twirl, and fell backwards, and just her head just missed, like the bar at the bottom of the bar.
Yeah.
And I swear, I thought she was going to die there and then. But I was sure she was going to give me a microphone in the mouth.
But isn't it amazing when you go in and you see, like, she's like the best man in that, right?
Yeah.
You go in and you see someone in that state and you're like, they're going to be trouble.
Yeah.
And I think when they get to that state, they're thinking like, how far can I push this?
Yeah. She came up to me and started going, do you know my brother, he plays music? And I was like,
oh, that's the worst.
It's like, no, don't. No. What's his name? She said his name, and I said, no, I don't know, sorry. Same pub, I won't name it. But a few weeks ago, a lady came up and goes, I have 3 Italian girls here. They want to come up and sing a song. And I said, oh yeah, grand, get them up. So they came up, and I says, what song do you want to sing? And they said something in Italian. With the longest Italian word I've ever heard in my life.
That's why I never let anybody on the stage
and
ever.
I was like, you think I'm not just going to be able to play this Italian song that I've never heard before on the guitar straight away? And I was like, get the chords for me. And they couldn't even find the chords. It wasn't even on the chord tab thing. So I says, right, girls. And they were sitting there talking to me while I'm supposed to be playing for about 5 minutes.
No, but you see, that's why I always say no. I know, like, sometimes you can look like a bit of a prick if you say no to people that want to come up and sing.
Yeah.
But I just say, listen, if I let you up, I have to let everybody up.
And a lot of the
people
managers
are always
go mad.
People always come up and they're like, oh no, but they're a really good singer and all. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
you're better off. I think it's best practice not to let people.
Oh
sing.
no, you can't start, because if you start, then that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Like,
I've had some mad people up. I've had some good people up as well, though.
Oh no, there's nothing worse than someone getting up and then being better than you.
Yeah.
So, I had some fella, I remember a few years ago, like that. I was doing a gig in Cyprus, and your man had been on the X Factor.
No way.
And he'd gone through boot camp and all. He was deadly, right?
Yeah.
And he got up and he was like, "Can I sing a song?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." It was like quiet at that part of the night. I was like, "Yeah, this'll do no harm." So I gave him a guitar, and he did some Adele song that I didn't know.
Yeah.
On the guitar and everything, and just start singing it. Oh my God. I was standing there thinking, fuck. Right? I was like, oh no. People on the street start listening to him.
Yeah.
And they start coming in because of him. So the bar started filling up for this boy singing this angelic stuff and all. Oh, he lifted the roof off the place. I'm like, how do I go on now after this, lad? Like,
almost heaven.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, how do you go on after him? Oh, road the rattling buck. You know?
Yeah.
He was finished, and I mean, nearly got a standing ovation. Like, this is like 10:30 at night. I still have 2 hours to do, right? And he nearly gets a standing ovation, and I was like, do another one. Go on ahead there, good man. thinking,
I'll be up in the apartment.
no, I just doing another. He started another one. He did another song. Unbelievable, like Chandelier or something. He did another song, and I got up on the stage, and I was like, "Can we have a round of applause for whoever that was?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Folks, I'm going to take a 15-minute break. I'll be back after the break." Thinking, I'm gonna distance myself for so long from everything he just did.
Yeah.
Anyway, went back on. The gig was grand, right? Thank God. The gig was grand. Everybody was into it. It was great. And at the end of the night, when I finished, I turned on music or whatever, and he went out into the street and started singing a cappella in the street, and had 200 people around him within. Like, I'm not messing, because you know that street has thousands of people going up and down. It's the main strip in Ayia Napa, and he had 200 people around him in the palm of his hand, and he
What was he singing? What was he singing?
On the, I think it was something like he was like, "Lean on me," and everybody was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh gee, I was like, bar him. I was like, he's never getting that. Did you ever see the boys back in the chains and all like
playing
the dumb and
in
like
713.
and doing all these like I'm really leaving myself open here, doing all these class chords and all. I'm like nah.
There's fellas on TikTok that do a lot of these Irish rhythms, which are like, it's crazy.
But that's, do you know what I mean? It's horses for courses.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
Like they're the boys that, as a purist, you'll go in and watch them and go, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. In perfect time.
Perfect time.
And
And they'll sit and they'll practice triples and they'll triplets and all that kind of.
Today was gonna be the day they were gonna throw it back to you. Yeah, but I think everyone who's a musician always looks up to someone who they think they can never be. Probably everyone, you always look at someone who you admire in what you do, whether it's a passion or a job. And you'll always look up to someone and say, I can never get to that level.
Or in Ireland, we'll just hate them.
Yeah, or else you say, look at that fucking prick.
Look at that prick.
Cheating on the wife. For a lot of people, I don't know about for you, but calling yourself an artist is a difficult step to take, I think, for a lot of people. Because a lot of people think that there's some gateway to being an artist, having some success or reaching some point that makes you an artist. But really just wanting to create something makes you an artist. In fact, we are all artists. Like, we are consciousness diluted down into ourselves to do our own unique way of doing things, and that's just, everyone's an artist.
Nice. Yeah, art. Banksy,
yeah. Banksy's a big, if you asked probably anyone in the Western world to name an artist that they know or have heard the name of, probably Banksy would be the number one, no?
Great. Actually, on the topic of Banksy, if you're listening, Banksy, could we get you on the podcast if possible? We'll give you a balaclava. We'll give you whatever you want.
I watched the whole documentary about who he actually is, and people know he's a singer out of.
No, he's not the Massive Attack guy.
No,
definitely not. No, he's because I'll tell you why. The timeline almost links up, but he wasn't. I don't think so. The Massive Attack guy, I don't think he was around when the whole Banksy King Robbo feud was going on.
Right.
Did you read about King Robbo?
No.
So King Robbo was the other graffiti artist around Bristol at the time, and or King Robbo do like a new thing, and then Banksy like tag it.
Ah. Okay.
Robbo did like a big Robbo.
Yeah.
A big like King Robbo, and then Banksy did a big fuck in front of it. So it was fuck King Robbo.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think when it all went on, and then King Robbo apparently got sick and he died. And then Banksy went and did like a big mural for King Robbo.
Okay.
It was like burying the hatchet. It was a really cool thing about this. Yeah. So Banksy, I think, they say his name's Rob. I don't know exactly, but I think this guy, I think he's Rob, and he's kind of like a very famous Bristol artist from the 90s that everybody kind of knew. Yeah. But listen, again, he could be the guy from Massive Attack. Yeah. It was just the way I read it. I kind of read points that almost cancelled out him being the guy from Massive Attack. But I think they did say his name was Rob or something. He was from Bristol.
Right, yeah.
It was something to do with the court case that he was up about.
Yeah.
The court case was like last year, and they thought he was going to have to show up and represent himself.
Yeah.
but I don't know if he did or not. No. Yeah, but didn't he do the wall in?
Yeah, in Gaza.
In Gaza, yeah. Like on the Gaza Strip, and he got like a dump truck full of teddy bears or something during New York Fashion Week, and got it on Times Square.
Yeah.
and got this dump truck to drop like thousands of teddy bears for like all the dead people, like mad stuff. Yeah.
A lot of singer-songwriter things, you see it all the time. They get to a certain point of the gig and then they plug out the guitar, put the mic down, they just go into the middle of the audience.
Gavin James, unbelievable.
Gavin James does. I think he was one of the first people I've seen do it. But now, like, you see it, I've seen dozens and dozens of videos of people doing the same thing. It becomes like almost a cliche at that point.
Yeah. No, the cliche now is when, oh my God, Michael Bublé let this guy up to sing, and you won't believe his voice. You know,
I've seen it. Some little 12-year-old you think that's going to sound like Butters out of South Park. He gets up and goes, yeah, thank you for letting me sing. And he goes, I wanna be a part of it.
Oh my God, this busker was singing when all of a sudden U2 showed up beside him when he was singing a U2. No, but the best one I've seen, so like this was all happening, right? Some guy was, and I really respected Hozier for this. Right. It was like some guy was singing a Hozier song when all of a sudden Hozier shows up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like most of the artists are doing it to get a bit of clout for themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody was singing a Hozier song and Hozier walked down Grafton Street and just threw him a tenner and gave him a wink and just kept walking. And they were like, and Hozier, but he didn't show up. He just went, he literally walked past, threw him a tenner and just goes, thanks man. And I was like, deadly. I was like, Hozier, fair play to you.
I saw one where Steven Tyler was getting up to sing that Armageddon song.
And he didn't know any of the words.
Oh, Steven
Tyler is taking so much drugs. He was like, did I write this?
Yeah, I write this. It doesn't sound like me. I can stay here if I only hear you free things.
Stephen Tyler, if you're listening, you are a guest we would love to have.
We'd have you
on
on, Steve.
I heard on the Temple Bard podcast.
He was on the Joe Rogan podcast a while
Was
ago.
he?
Yeah, he was good on it as well.
Well, then he's too big for us if he's on Joe.
Not at all.
Stephen, if you're listening, we'll get you on.
There's no bigger platform than the Temple Bar podcast. We've got literally.
Well, we are reaching for the stars.
We've got literally
guests.
tens of followers on social media.
We've asked Brett to hit Man Hart.
Yeah, we have.
We
put out a few
really
feelers.
want Brett to hit Man Hart.
Yeah.
Or any big wrestler like that, like, would be great.
If you're listening to this podcast now, everywhere we now have an option to text messages directly. I'm pretty sure it's free.
Spotify, yeah.
Spotify and it's on Apple. I think it's on everywhere. So you can text us for free. So text us what wrestlers you'd like to see us get on.
Or just give us abuse.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it's anonymous. So just say what you want.
Yeah, it's anonymous as well, yeah. So you can say, for free, you can just give us abuse. And it's the internet, but in text form. We're going backwards. So that's it for episode 5 of the Temple Bard podcast with me, Jim Wynn, and Philip Noon. Launch it.